Welcome, folks. I am John Najarian, and this is 3 at 3. You know the drill. 3 at 3, we bring you the unusual activity that we've seen. And what does that mean? Large buys, whether it's calls and somebody thinks they know something about the stock going higher, or whether it's puts and they think the stock is going to go lower. Either of those, and I've got a lot of put examples, of course, but that's good because the market's down over 700 points. So a lot of you probably know that puts get bigger as the market goes lower. So with that said, let's get started with unusual option activity. I already described for you what that is. And we actually have a special guest today, Jordan Freed, one of the smartest guys in crypto. Jordan was one of the gentlemen that really got behind HBAR and got that one on the map. And then has just been blowing up with NFTs and so forth. In fact, he owns NFT.com and a fellow gentleman that lives down in Puerto Rico. But here we are at Dallas and certainly enjoying what's going on at the Four Seasons Resort here in Dallas. So I'll give you a couple examples and we'll pull old Jordan over here. Take a look at HYG. This is bearish puts. You know that we talked about it on this program. They were buying those puts, 7,000 of those February 68 puts, but take a look at the price when they began accumulating. It was 74.21. Now it has fallen again today, and these puts, of course, become more valuable as the stock goes lower. Bang, you know how that works. Take a look at this one, Cliffs, CLF, bearish puts. I think this was yesterday. Basically, in Cliffs, the stock was $14, and they bought 10,000 of the October 14 puts at the money puts. Well, the stock, 10,000 options is 1 million shares of stock, and the stock has now fallen to $12.99. It's down almost 8% today, and guess what? The puts are moving up really, really fast. So when you're trading and you're, like most of us, in long positions frequently, when you have a 700-point down day, you're sort of wringing your hands and going, God, this sucks. But there's always a way to make money in a market somewhere, folks. And being able to trade to the downside is one of those skill sets that I think you really need to learn, and one that certainly pays big bonuses. Take a look at this one, IWM. It was at 180. They rolled all the way down, as you recall, from the 190 puts to the 185 puts to the 180 puts to the 171 puts here on the screen. 28,000 of those puts change hands. So how much is that? 2.8 million shares potentially short, both hands, short. So again, 2.8 million times 180. Are you kidding me? That's a huge trade, folks. You know, that is an awful lot of money potentially on that trade. So whoever owns these puts has had a very good day. And if you're somebody who followed me into this trade, bang, it's traded down today to 165.46, down another 3.5%. So as you can already figure, the 171 puts are $6 in the money right now. And if you were somebody like me who bought the at the monies, I'm rolling out now and rolling down as the stock drops. Bang. Lastly, from last week, those S&P 500 puts, when they bought those 15,000 of those puts, 1.5 million shares short. Well, those are October 7th, 395 puts. It's traded down now to 36.56. So in S&P 500 terms. Now in SPY terms, that's 365. So in other words, it's fallen by $35. The S&P, the big contract, is down $35 right here, which means that those puts that give you the right to sell it at 395 are deep in the money. And I have also now rolled these puts down. Rebel's Edge, yeah, that's our show. It's on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. 1 p.m. Eastern time. We've had a lot of input from folks here at the conference that say that we should move it to noon Eastern time and perhaps even bring on some guests and so forth, some of our speakers, as well as some of the folks that are here at the event. I won't bother Tom over there because he's working, Tom Lee, but he'll be on the main stage in a couple minutes. And Jordan, do you want to come over and just say hi?
Let's say hello.
Folks, this is Jordan. As I said,
I'm 5'5", so we're gonna have to bring it down. We're gonna have to bring it down here.
Well, Jordan, you have one of the most energetic and exciting talks, and that's not just me pumping you up. When he did that last year, folks, at RebelCon, people just loved it, and I know you're going to do the same today.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having me here. It's an important topic, I think, especially now in the market. Last year, we were still in a very much, it was in October, right? It was still very frothy. It was very exciting. We had just gone public as a company. Equities have corrected. We felt that as a holding company, and we're certainly feeling it in crypto. All issuers of tokens, all issuers of NFTs have experienced the correction. NFT volumes down 98% from all-time highs. We were seeing $1 billion a day in some cases, more like $1 billion weekly volume averages on big NFT marketplaces. And now we're barely seeing them in the hundreds of millions. So we're all fighting over a much smaller daily active user number. If you look at tools like Dune Analytics, one of the top crypto tools there, they look at the smart contracts on the blockchain, really looking at the smart contracts behind OpenSea, LooksRare, X2Y2, the top NFT marketplaces. Look at the data on the blockchain itself. You can do your own expert analysis and really see what's happening over there. That's what I'm looking at. That's what most traders are looking at. And volumes have dried up. My advice to people listening here, if they're looking for alpha or edge in the space, don't buy an NFT that you're not comfortable holding for at least the next 3 to 6 months. It'll be some time, and we're still very much attached to whatever is happening in equities or commodities, the macro environment, the dollar. All of that's affected crypto, right? Strong dollar, not really good for crypto right now, right? So all that's playing out in real time. We're really looking towards 2024. I know some people are saying things could turn around in 2023. We're really building right now. I've built in Bear. You mentioned H-bar just now. We started Hedera in 2017. Bitcoin went from, at the beginning of that year, 1,000 to 20,000, came crashing down to 3,000. Everybody said the space was going away, and that's when we built Hedera. That's where you kind of get your grit, you kind of build character. I was in fight or flight mode there, right? We had enough cash on the balance sheet. We knew we had to build a real business here, real layer one protocol. And we did that, but we did that in a dark period. H-bar, I think it reached lows of 1 cent. And those that doubled down and bought at that bottom, they were beneficiaries of a run up to 50 cents. Right? 50x return H-bar saw in that past market. I'm still a large holder of H-bar. I'm very biased.
I have it too.
Very, very near and dear to my heart. So we're excited about what's happening there. But I would look to the next Bitcoin halving event. That'll be the spring of 2024. That's going to be a supply crunch. I think there's a lot of really exciting things happening with Michael Saylor's purchases in the market. Look for people to take his open source playbook for how CFOs of publicly traded companies can start taking exposure to cryptocurrency on their balance sheet. I would expect to start seeing more of that, especially when the asset prices are suppressed.
You've got one last bit of information. Can you talk about the change happening with your publicly traded stock? What's going to be happening, or can't you say that?
So there's a lot of news that we'll be putting out in the next couple of weeks. I can talk about we do have a new listing, which is really exciting for us. It's taken a long time. There's a big backlog. Deal market was hot with all the SPACs obviously suffering much more, but we were in a backlog trying to bring, our goal was to bring exposure to our diversified portfolio of blockchain businesses that we're building to as many shareholders as possible. So I'm happy to share we are OTC listed in the US now, which is a big step for us and part of a longer strategy for us to get on one of those senior markets. We're on the NEO in Canada, which is a pure exchange to NASDAQ. Same regulatory requirements, independent board, audit committee, all that good jazz. But our ticker is IHLBF, US. You can look it up, Companies Immutable Holdings, and we're excited that more people can ride along with us.
Fantastic. Jordan Freed, folks, NFT.com. Make sure you check it out.
Thanks,
Jordan. Thank you, sir. Looking forward to hearing you on stage today, too. Thank you. Well, that was the man, the myth, the legend, folks. And like I say, a lot of people are going to be excited about what he has to say from the main stage. Let me go through a couple of the quick ones here. Take a look at Bank America. It's a $31 stock. They're buying 10,000 of the 2 week from now expiring October 30 puts. So obviously $1.29 under where the market is right now, but it's a bet that some of these higher rates and so forth are probably going to be affecting the lending that they do to consumers in particular, obviously, one of the largest real estate lenders for mortgages and things, Bank America. So that's a bet to the downside. 10,000 is a million share equivalent. Multiply the million shares times 31 bucks. You get the idea. $31 million trade. That's why I follow it. Next one, QQQ. Wow, like we haven't had enough pain, but at 274.56, they're buying the October 256 puts. So in other words, basically they're saying another 25 bucks to the downside. Ouch, that's regular October. You know that because there's nothing in front of the October there. If it was 07, for instance, it would mean 2 weeks from now. No, these aren't 2 weeks from now. These are out there further into the future, the third week of October, the 21st. So 12,000 is 1.2 million shares short for a $274 number like this. Means people are still scared that in this market goes lower. Lastly, India. I bet you don't know what this is, right? Yeah, you do. It's the ETF for India, INDA, $41.56 where it was trading. They're buying the October 40 puts. You know emerging markets are getting tagged hard. If you think this is bad here in America, folks, at a 700-point drop, imagine what it's like in some of these other frontier markets, if you want to call them that, or emerging markets. 11,000 of these puts at the 40 strike. So in other words, $1.50 out of the money also. But bang, if we get there quick, these are going to blow up. And volatility has been pushing like this, up, up, up. So watch this one, India, INDA also puts. Well, that's going to do it for us from RebelCon 2022, folks. I am John Najarian. You can follow me at John Najarian, Pete Najarian, of course, at Pete Najarian, and then Official Market Rebellion. Hey, it's been a great conference. Got so many wonderful folks that have joined us, and I hope you can make one sometime in the future. And remember, we've got Rebel Edge coming your way again Monday next week, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Pete does the take at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and I do 3 at 3 at you know what time, 3 o'clock Eastern. Bang. Have a good weekend, folks.